Welcome in, everybody. Thanks for joining us here at Impact Gaming Center. We are going to get started here in round one of our Friday Night Magic. It looks like we're already started and off to the races with the Cavern of Souls and the Explorer. I forget the name of the card, but it is an Explorer creature. We've got Luke and Jake here. And Jake plays a swamp and pass back. Luke gonna play Otawara and attack. And that is a fatal push. Gonna take down the 2/2. All right. Another Merfolk inbound for Luke. He's gonna shock, go to 18. What's he got? Pass back. So I think he phased out his his land, which is pretty good. Both of these players are 0-0 as it is round number one. Yeah, we got 4 rounds. We got 27 players in the house tonight. And there's an Orcish Bowmasters at the end step. And a Preordain. For Jake. Let's see. Thumbs up from Luke. Jake doesn't like those. Puts them on the bottom. And draws. Okay, so I guess that is the blue-black flip land. That's why it's flipped upside down. So, shortcutting. The attacks. Let's correct these life totals real quick. All right. And down to 12 goes Jake. Fun fact, these two are actually brothers. So get the unfortunate round one pairing with your brother in a 27-person tournament is actually pretty rough. That's how the cookie crumbles, though. An attack from the Bowmaster and the Orc army. Jake has a lightning bolt in hand. And I can't quite see what else. Down to 13. Or is that 15? Yeah, it would be 15. Fetch land into shuffle. Get the breeding pool. Luke gonna untap and take his turn, maybe? That is 13. So Luke is at 13. Life totals are a bit tricky on live Magic, so we do appreciate you bearing with me here. End of the turn, we're gonna bolt. Get that out of here. All right, and here we go. Just send with the team. Down to 4, and there's Savala. All other Merfolk have, I believe, Island Walk and Hexproof. Just an untap and a pass. So now our Bowmaster and our Orc army are in blocking mode. Chump season. Blue-green Horizon land here from Luke. And Savala will get in there. In response, Tidebinder flashed in for Jake. Deciding blocks. We'll put 2 of these dudes in front of your Savala. Try and get that thing off the battlefield. Alrighty. Guess maybe we just chumped there. Pass, and Jake's not drawing any lands. All right. Cracks the Horizon Land, draws a card. But yeah, thank you everybody for hanging out. It'll be another Fatal Push. Takes that down. Amasses an Orc army. Trying to figure out blocks here, it looks like. All right, Luke, draw step. That looks like an what is that, Master of Waves? Well, not long for this world. Not very familiar with all these Merfolk. And there's a preordained from Jake. We know what that one do. He's going to scry 2 and then draw a card. He's got a... He does have a land. Bottom the land, draw the spell. Oh, it was a Scalding Tarn, I believe. Plays it and passes. So, Jake able to fight back here. It was not looking great. There's a Cavern of Souls, I'm sure naming Merfolk. But yeah, as I said, thank you everybody for hanging out. If you're watching on YouTube, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. If you're watching on Twitch, follow. Feel free to interact. Love to hear your input. We're gonna crack the fetch. Untaps. Is that a Dothy Voidwalker? Swinging with the team. Well, the Bowmaster's hanging out, but... Alright, Bolt. So that'll take down Savala. They're fighting over that Pokemon Pog. All right, back to Jake. So he's going to flash this in and tap that down. Tidebinder to... Wow. So Jake having his way, but does take down the Bowmaster. Luke take down the Bowmaster with the block. So that's a Trickster. Look at that, we can zoom in dynamically. Pretty fancy stuff here at IGC. Alright, there's an Eighth Vial. We all know what that card does. And pass back. Just an attack here. Crack of the fetch land. Down to 7s. So we are all 7s here. right, subtlety. Gonna do its thing and block. And there's Shieldred. And that'll do it. Looking like Jake takes game number 1. We'll be right back with more modern action right after these commercials. All right, we're back. Sorry about the quick break. But we are back at it like a Craftmatic. So Jake won that one. Shieldred too strong. Players shuffling up. Thanks again, everybody, for hanging out with us. I do appreciate it. Again, we are here at 49 Ludwig Drive in the fantastic Fairview Heights, Illinois. So if you want to come on out or in the Metro East St. Louis area, or if you're in St. Louis, 20 minutes from downtown, come on out. We've got a huge player space. We got, like I said, 27 modern players tonight. 4 rounds of action for sure tonight. Super stoked to have you all. We'll get back down to... Oh, and it looks like Jake is taking a mulligan. We've got 54 players playing tonight. Total between modern and just casual commander. So, very fun stuff. Come on out. We have 22,000 square feet. If you're out there watching and you're in the St. Louis area, come on out. We'd love to see you. All right, can Jake find a hand he likes? Let's find out. Looks like it. All right, we've got... Let's zoom in, so we can do that. Tide Shaper. So pretty good hand here. Looks like Ottawara, Lord of Atlantis ×2. Takes one of the Lords of Atlantis and a... When it enters the battlefield, if it was kicked, it was not kicked, but... There's another Lord of Atlantis. Or there's the Lord of Atlantis will attack, giving all other Merfolk +1/+1. Plays a Scalding Tarn, does Jake, and passes back. He's gonna fetch shock. This might still be in his main phase, so he didn't pass. I think that was a sorcery. Oh, okay, so he's like, okay, I'm not gonna do that. These two, as I said, are brothers, so takesy backsies might be okay here. All right. Get in there. Down to 10 goes Jake. Down to 8 goes Jake after the shock. It's like a flooded, polluted delta, sorry, drawn from Luke. And are we just sending the team here? Protecting his Lord of Atlantis? Jake flicking through his cards. Dress down. So draw a card. All creatures have no abilities, so he just takes 2. All right, and I think Jake called it. So we will get back to game 3 very soon. We'll be right back. Like, we are back. Tide Shaper in. Turn 1, obviously not kicked off of the Cavern of Souls. This is game number 3, round number 1 between Jake Stellick and Luke Stellick. Jake on Grixis Wizards, Luke on Simic Merfolk. So we have a Brotherhood feud here. We're gonna fetch and shock down to 16 off the other fetch, and let's see what Jake has. Taps 2 mana and plays an Orcish Bowmaster trigger, and here comes the Orc army. Pass back. Master of the Pearl Trident, that'll give all the other merfolks +1/+1. So down to 13 goes Jake. Fatal Push on the Pearl Trident and Lightning Bolt on the Tide Shaper. So cleaning up the board pretty well there for Jake. He'll shock and then bash. Down to 18 goes Luke. And we had a Preordain, bottoms both and passes. Into another Preordain, I believe. Polluted Delta and taps 2 mana. Harbinger of the Tides. I'm loving this zoom in feature. Whoops. Busy messing with the camera. Can't quite see Luke's life total on the phone there. It's like 15. Yeah, it's 15. And there's... And right back at it. Luke has the biggest creatures on the board now. Flame of Anor gonna take down one, and Thoughtseize Savala to the bin. So down to 9 goes Jake. The Scout, I think when it enters, it explores. Another Fatal Push, taking down the Lord of Atlantis. Top deck here, attack for 2. Down to 5. Lightning Bolt. So now we're in a top deck war. Whose top deck is going to be nicer to them? All right, draws and passes. Got a Bowmaster. He's just going to leave it up just in case. Dismember. So losing 4 life down to 10. Sorry about the life totals, guys. It's hard to see. It's hard to keep up. We're going to crack and draw a card off the Horizon land. There's the Tide Shaper. Oh, so it... So it turns things into islands. That makes much more sense. Tidebinder flashed in and then attacked. Down to 1. Another Tidebinder. I mean, both players drawing pretty well. Jake drawing a little bit better, I think. Attack for 4. All right, I don't know who won. I'm going to go in and ask. I'll be right back. All right. So it looks like Luke got there. Oh, Jake ended up thought seizing himself there at the end of the game. Wow. What a round of Magic. All right, everybody, thanks for joining us. If you're watching on YouTube, watch the next video. If you're watching live on twitch.tv/Impact Gaming Center, stick around for round 2. We got 4 rounds of Magic the Gathering content tonight. We got 27 players in the house. If you're in the area, in St. Louis, we are in Fairview Heights, Illinois, just about 20 minutes from downtown STL. So come on out, hang out with us. We'd love to see you. We've got 22,000 square foot of gaming space. Anyways, appreciate you. Catch you on the other side of this break.